speech pathologist.
And hello, my name is Miss Hazel and I am the school's occupational therapist.
Did you know that not every school has a speech pathologist and occupational therapist? So we are so lucky and we're very thankful to Mr. Lacampo, the school principal, and the executive team at Quakers Hill Public School.
Yeah, so Lena and I have been working at this school for quite a few years now. This is my 3rd year.
And I've lost count of how many years I've been at the school. They know me as one of the teachers there now. So when our children start school, the main things that we want to see are that they're happy, they're fitting in, they're able to make friends, and of course, one of the most important ones, they're able to learn how to read and write and do their schoolwork.
Yeah, so I'm just going to be starting off, and the first things that I would like your kids to be able to do is to be independent. So at home, if you are feeding your child, if you are dressing them, and then if you're doing everything for them, we want to cut that out and try to make the kids as independent as possible, because remember, when they start school next year, they're going to be dressing themselves, they're going to be going to the toilet by themselves, they're going to be opening up their lunchbox and try to eat by themselves. So we want to start practicing these independent activities. So the things you can do at home is to have some pretend picnics.
Yeah.
So and Lena, what could we do during these picnics?
Oh, well, you know I love to talk. And picnics, along with a lot of these fun type adventure activities, opportunities for a lot of talk, a lot of language. We can talk about things that we can see around us. We can talk about the names of the items and the objects that we're using. We can talk about the actions that we're doing. So I'm going to chop the carrots. I'm going to pick up the slice of cake, put it on your plate. Oh, could I have a bigger piece? You could talk about size and colour. You could describe. So lots of opportunity to talk and describe.
Yeah, awesome. And for an OT perspective, we'd like for your kids to learn how to open up Tupperware, how to open up Glad Wrap, making sure there's nothing on their food after they've eaten, so checking the mirror or even checking things on their face. So just practicing opening and closing, and also knowing the difference what goes in the rubbish and what goes back home, just so your containers, your precious Tupperware containers aren't put in the bin.
You know what, on that note of opening and closing things that might be tricky for our children to do, even just modelling to your child, oh, is that a bit tricky for you? If you're stuck, you could always ask for help. You could say, Mum, can you help me open this? It's really hard for me. We're teaching our children skills that they can use so that they can get by at school. We don't want them to feel helpless or, oh, I can't do this, I'm not going to eat my recess, or crunch and sip or whatever.
Yeah. Going towards that as well is dressing. So in the morning, it'd be amazing for your kids to be able to dress independently, because when they get to school, for example, it's a really hot day and they're wearing a jacket, trying to take that jacket off and putting it back on. When they go to the toilet, taking off their pants and underwear, putting it back on, opening up the tap. We don't know if the school has a twisty tap or a push tap, so I'm just practicing all of those things as well. So yeah, Lena, what could you do in a speech perspective when we're dressing?
So I mentioned to you about the importance of learning new words and doing a lot of talk throughout everyday activities. I want to name just a handful of activities that are language opportunity rich. So doing household chores like laundry, sorting out the clothes, colours versus whites, putting them in, the action of putting in, sorting them, as well as after it's washed, we hang them out. So we've got to pick up, put on the line. Oh, who does that belong to? Look at Dad's shirt. It's much bigger than my shirt. You know, describing, again, talking about it. Another really popular thing that we could involve our children at home in is cooking. And what child doesn't love to be able to cook if they're given the opportunity to? It's got language that's to do with actions. It's got language to do with time. So first we need to do this, next we do that. After this happens, we do this. We wait for it to cool down. There's a lot of action words, mixing, pouring, sprinkling, you know, plenty of opportunity to practice talk in that time. And it's a fun thing to do. Pick the exciting ones, making cupcakes or a big cake for someone, cookies. If you want to involve them in normal dinner or lunch, they could learn the names of vegetables or the meats that we use. You know, it's not that hard to involve them in that.
And going from that, there's so much research around kids being involved in cooking to them eating more. So there's a lot of like sensory play around it as well. So they get to touch different textures and feel different textures. And because they're involved, they're more excited to eat what you put in front of them as well.
Absolutely. Guys, I just wanted to also mention the other big thing, which is one of the most important things from a speech perspective, books and reading. Okay?
Yeah, I agree.
So reading, number one, it's close family time, whether it's with mum or with dad. Hazel, you told me a special fact that you read in an article about dads.
So there's a lot of research around if dads read books to their child, their language will develop much quicker and their vocabulary will be much bigger as well, opposed to their mums. I'm not saying mums stop reading to their children, but it's so important. So if dad can read to their children every now and then, it's really, really important.
Come on, dads, pick up a book. The other really important skills that they learn from using books and reading books, they get to learn to hear the sounds and words and in general messages to know that that's what makes up written language or literate language. They learn how to visualize and make pictures in their mind about what they're hearing so that they can fully understand. It's a fun thing to do, especially if you pick cool books that have titles such as There's a Monster Under My Bed That Farts. Or a book called Pooh. Do you know any kid that would not want to read about poo?
I know
stinky things?
4 and 5-year-olds love potty humour. Other benefits from reading from an OT's perspective is learning how to gaze their eyes from left to right as well, and also their fine motor skills of turning the pages and visual perception, so finding the words within the books as well and the attention and concentration needed to be able to read a book. So they're having so many developmental gains from that.
The other biggest thing, and you've heard me say this word many times, talking. Books are for talking too. So there's lots of, even if you don't read the words on the page, you look at the picture and say, oh, what's that? Where have we seen that before? Who has one of these? How does that work? When can we use this? You're talking about it, you're asking questions, you're naming things, beautiful opportunity to practice our talking skills. So guys, top tips, turn off the TV at dinner time or during meal times, okay? Talk together, share your daily events or what happened. Read a book or 2 or 3, however many. And the other one that we didn't say, which is super important, is playing.
Oh,
Hazel.
Yes. Playing is so important. Just remember, you are the best toy to your child. You will provide so many more learning opportunities rather than a toy that sings or dances or moves. They just watch that. When you play with them, they engage in imaginatory play and they build relationships with you as well. So playing is so important. I always tell teachers, whenever you have the opportunity, just play with the kids. Let them explore, and they learn so many skills like sharing and attention and concentration and problem solving as well, and fine motor skills because they're playing with Lego, and gross motor skills because they're playing with a ball.
Absolutely. And look, if they're bored of just playing with you, join them in there, play with their own toys. There's lots of things that you can comment on as they're playing with the people in the bus and the wheels moving around, doing puzzle pieces that have like different nouns on them, like transport or foods or numbers, or there are lots of different ways that we can make commentary in that whilst our child is playing, and it makes them feel like you care about what they're into, what their interests are, and that's important for bonding again and making our child feel like they're understood. So if you have any concerns about how your child is developing along, whether it's their speech or how much they're talking and sharing, how well they're able to do their own independent skills like self-dressing, feeding, all of those things, please discuss these concerns with the school that you're enrolling your child in. Also, let us know if you've started any therapy with OT or speech or any other therapist. And you will also benefit from getting your child's hearing and vision checked, just to rule out that they're not interfering with your child's overall development and ability to learn. Talk to your GP about it.
All right, thank you so much. Thanks, Lena.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we'll see you around.
Yeah, hopefully. Bye.
Bye.